All right, what's up, y'all? The Chrome Corner's back for UFC 262 with our fight picks for you. Of course, we got Chrome and we got your boy, Charlie T. What's going on, Charlie?
I'm pumped, dude. I'm pumped. We're going to see another full house. Houston, Texas. That's where my ex lives.
All your exes live in Texas. I got a couple out here myself.
Just one. But, dude, full house, UFC 262. You know, Oliviera, Chandler. Let's get it, dude. Let's get it.
There will be a new 155-pound champion at the end of the night. So let's get into it. The first fight on the card is Burgos versus Barboza. So the guest always picks first. Burgos is coming in ranked number 9. Edson Barboza coming in ranked number 13. Who do you have and why?
Okay, so this is a matter of timing. You know, every fight is a matter of timing. At one time, you could pick, say, you know, I'll throw it back to Pride, for example. In 2006, you would never pick anybody against Fedor Emelianenko. Mm-hmm. But now, you probably pick everybody against Fedor because his time has passed. Mm-hmm. I don't know why it shows him as an example, but dude, Edson Barboza was one of the best in the world during his prime. Like, he was a wrecking ball. I mean, if you look back, his losses. I mean, he's lost to only great fighters, really. When he was in his prime, lost to Tony Ferguson, Michael Johnson, Cowboy Cerrone, Habib. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you'd have asked me 3 years ago who won this fight, I'd pick Barboza, but the guy's on a losing streak. It looks like he slipped farther down in the rankings, featherweight rankings. I think he's 12 or 13. Mm-hmm. 13. And dude, Burgos is a younger, fresher fighter. He's got tremendous knockout power. He had that one fight. It was like 3 fights ago where he had a really good armbar submission. I can't remember who he fought, but I was like, wow. His fight against Cub Swanson was really good too, even though it went to a split decision. I think it should have been unanimous. He's way too much for Barboza. I'm taking Burgos, and I think he gets it. I think he stops him. I think he stops Barboza. So
really, okay. We've got vastly different opinions on this one. But I'm not super confident on mine. I'm picking Barboza off. A lot of it was because I was on the fence. A lot of it was based on the fact when I looked at his recent losses, he had 2 split decisions, one with Dan Ige and one with Paul Felder, which Paul Felder is, you know, one of the top guys, top 10, top 15. I can't remember where he's exactly ranked right now, probably top 10. And then Dan Ige's no slouch, both split decisions. He did get knocked out the fight before that, but when I watch Burgos fight, and they mentioned this in one of the pre-fight shows, he's real heavy on his lead leg because he's jab heavy. He's boxer heavy in his tactics, and I think unless he can bring a new game plan and not be heavy on the lead leg, I think Barboza is going to tear up the front leg, and I think that's going to be a little bit of the deciding factor. However, I think it's going to be a decision for Barboza, and I'll add this reason behind it. A lot of these guys, once they get a little older, like Barboza is, and they're real weathered, they've been in the game a long time, it seems like they don't have the fire to finish guys as much. You know, when a guy's young and they hurt a guy, I mean, a lot of times the fire is lit and they just roast him immediately. I don't know if Barboza is going to have that.
I will say this. I think this is, you know, on every fight card you have the biggest, like, 50-50 fight. And yeah. I think this is the biggest 50-50 fight on this card because it is hard for me to pick against Barboza. I mean, he's just lost, I think, like 5 out of his last 7. I mean, I think he's on a steep decline, which sucks, but yeah, I'm not going to pick him.
Okay.
I'm just not confident in him.
All right, you've got Burgos, and you said knockout?
I think
or
he stopped him.
TKO?
Yeah.
All right, and I got Barboza decision. Next fight, we've got Caitlin Chukagian coming in at number 2, and we've got Vivian Araujo coming in at number 7. And we're to me with this pick. Even though there's a pretty decent discrepancy in the rankings, 2 and 7, I'm going to go with Araujo. Yeah, after Caitlin Chukagian's fight against, who was it? She wanted to see. Yes, Calvillo. I don't think she can hang with Araujo in the stand-up from what I've seen in their last few previous fights. And then Araujo's no slouch on the ground either. The thing about Chukagian that sticks out to me is she has a lot of decisions on her record. She doesn't really seem to finish many fights, and I see a little bit of a fire in Araujo where she has a decent amount of finishes. I think more finishes than decisions, and she's also been finished a few times. But I see her pulling it out. I think the younger fighter gets. Or not younger, they're actually the same age, I think, but the less seasoned fighter gets the win on this one.
I've always had trouble pronouncing her last name.
Chukagian?
Yeah.
Is that right, or Chukagian?
Chukagian. So here's the thing. I like to compare fighters to people in different eras of MMA, and Caitlin Chukagian reminds me of, I'm going to throw it back a little bit, she reminds me of a pretty prominent welterweight. A decade or so ago in the UFC, John Fitch.
Okay.
John Fitch had 0 knockout power. He wasn't going to submit you, but he would fucking wear your ass down.
That's a good point.
Over 3 rounds, and he dispatched everybody in the welterweight division other than George St. Pierre. And it's an ugly way to win. It's a boring way to win, but she's really good at it. I mean, occasionally she will get caught. We saw that when she fought Jessica Andrade. But, I mean, her last 2 losses are to, like I said, Andrade and Valentina Shevchenko. And they just fought for a world title. And ain't nobody walking into that octagon and beating Valentina Shevchenko unless it's Amanda Nunes. She got impressive wins on her record. So good. I don't know. Like I said, she doesn't have great knockout power, but her stamina, her cardio is really good. And this one was tough, though, because you got 2 really good fighters, and did Araujo, she fought Modafferi last fight, I believe.
Yeah, Roxanne Modafferi, and she beat her.
And I mean, Roxanne is no slouch. I mean, she put Macy Barber down by an easy unanimous decision victory when everybody thought Macy Barber was about to ascend to the top. But that being said, I can't pick against Caitlin. I take her by unanimous decision.
Okay. You got Chukagian, unanimous decision, and I've got Araujo. I'm going to go TKO second. Because I think she finishes her. I was on the fence with second or third, but I'm going to go second. Okay, next fight. Before we get to the last fight before the co-main or main, we've got Matt Schnell. And we've got Rogerio Bontorin, who actually missed weight for this by a couple pounds, just to note.
Shit.
And Schnell's coming in at number 8, and Bontorin is number 9. So who is your pick and why?
Okay, so this one was tough. I said that a lot tonight. I really like Matt Schnell.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's got an impressive streak going. I believe he's at 5-1 in his last 6 fights. He got great ground game. I mean, his submissions. I believe he's finished like 2 guys in his last 5 fights with triangle chokes. I think he's really good on the ground. And the thing about Bontorin is his last 2 fights. I mean, he got worked by Ray Borg, and Cara France knocked him the fuck out, and it's hard to get off the losing streak. When one starts.
Yeah, especially when you've got another guy on fire in front of you.
I think Matt Schnell is really good on the ground. I don't see him losing this fight. I think he wins it by decision.
Okay. I've got the same pick on this one. I'm going to go with Matt Schnell as well, but I'm going to go second round submission.
Okay.
Same point that you had about him being good on the ground. The guy loves the triangle choke. He's hit, I think, 3 triangle chokes and an inverted triangle choke in his career or something like that.
Amazing.
If Bontorin wins, it's because he can keep it standing, I think. So that's to the same point. And I'm also a little bit partial to Schnell because my boy Matt Weibel, that's a good friend of mine, also a cop out back home in Memphis. He is the agent for Matt Schnell with First Round Management, so I'm a little bit partial there. All right, so I've got Schnell by sub, you got Schnell by decision. Next fight, co-main event of the night, we've got Tony Ferguson, El Kukui, number 5, versus Beneil Dariush, coming in at number 9. And we are to me with this pick. I'm going to roll with Tony Ferguson. El Kukui, the boogeyman, is going to make a resurgence with this fight. The old Ferguson is going to come back, and that's the only way he wins this fight. Because if he shows up like he did against Justin Gaethje, he's not going to win. If he shows up like he did against Oliveira, I think, it's an okay fight. And then if he shows up like the old Ferguson, he wins. So we'll see. But I'm going with the old Ferguson showing up. I think he cuts him early like he did Oliveira, and I think Dariush is too slow for Ferguson. He throws heavy hands, but he is slower in my opinion. So I'm going to go Ferg by decision, though.
Yeah, I disagree. I hate that because I like Tony, but
yeah,
Dariush is on a 6-fight win streak. 2 have come from knockout, and 2 have come from submission. He's good on his feet and on the ground. And those are guys that give Tony problems. I mean, Oliveira, Justin Gaethje can wrestle. He also was... fucking Tony takes too many punches.
It's true. He can't just sit there.
I mean, I guess he's trying to prove that he's tough, which no one would debate unless you're a fucking idiot. Tony is one of the toughest fighters out.
Absolutely.
I just think that he's reached that point where he started his decline. I'm just saying the dude he sustains so much damage when he's fighting, especially in that Gaethje fight. He got bloodied up.
That is one thing that I absolutely worry about for Ferguson's health post fighting is the guy takes as much damage as anybody, and just, I mean, you probably couldn't even count on one hand. I mean, you probably have too many fingers on one hand to count the guys in the UFC who can take the punches he took against Gaethje and still stand there and not even budge, not even.
Yeah, Gaethje was throwing windmills, man. He was throwing some heavy hands.
Yeah,
I think Tony does a lot of the same thing in this fight. I think he eats a lot of punches, and I don't think he gets finished, but I think he loses by decision.
Okay, you got Ferg losing by decision. I have Ferg winning by decision. And now we are on to the main event of the night. We've got 2 guys fighting for the 155-pound title that is vacant because of Khabib Nurmagomedov's retirement. We've got Michael Chandler, who's a former multi-time Bellator champion, and we've got Charles Oliveira, who is on a long winning streak in the UFC. Both guys very different routes to get to this title shot. It's only his 2nd fight in the UFC. Oliveira's been in the UFC forever and had many ups and downs, but he's on a great win streak right now. So we are to you with this pick for the 155-pound title. Charlie T. Who you got?
Okay, so I don't understand this fight. I'm going to say why I don't understand it. I don't get why Michael Chandler has one fight in the UFC against Dan Hooker, he's a great big fighter, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's deserved. I think it should be Dustin fighting for it, regardless if he's going to fight Conor again. I mean, Chandler was a great fighter in Bellator, but obviously the UFC's a step up. Like I said, he's got great knockout ability. I believe all three of his last fights have come by knockout. But he's also been finished by knockouts. I believe like two times of his 5 losses have come by knockout.
Yes, I think one of them.
Three of them have.
One was a doctor stoppage, and the other 2, yeah.
3 of them have come by knockout. Dude, I'm not picking against Charles Oliveira. He's on a fucking roll. His last 2 fights, he submitted Kevin Lee, and Kevin Lee fought for the interim lightweight belt. It was a great fight. He easily beat Tony Ferguson, who we thought actually had a chance to beat Khabib when we talked about that fight. I just think Oliveira's dangerous. Oliveira's dangerous from stand-up. He's dangerous on the ground. He can submit you really easy. He's up with a guillotine choke, a rear naked choke, an anaconda choke. He's just such a multifaceted fighter. And he's really come into his own ever since that last loss he had to Paul Felder. And I think with Chandler, I hate to say he's going down that similar path of Ben Askren, where he fights one fight and people jump on the hype train. I think he gets finished. And I think Oliveira knocks him out.
Whew, okay. Well, this is a card full of different picks for us because I'm rolling with the hype train that's coming from Bellator over to the UFC. I'm rolling with Michael Chandler. When I watch him fight, when I watch Oliveira fight, I don't see many scenarios where Oliveira is strong enough to control Chandler enough on the ground to keep him there and submit him. And in the standing department, that's where I'm a little bit on the fence. Even though I'm picking Chandler, he's going to be at a reach disadvantage, height disadvantage, but he's at a power advantage. So, I mean, we're only time will tell how that's going to play out. But yeah. I'm going to give Chandler the advantage because of him being able to take it to the ground whenever he wants, and I'm banking on, which we'll see, I'm banking on him being able to stay away from those submissions. I don't think he's going to want to stay down there too long because I think the more that he tries to beat Oliveira up on the ground, he's going to see those submissions coming his way and think it's probably best I don't play down here, or at least if he does, he needs to kind of stay away and standing in the guard, those type of situations. We'll see, though, man. I'm going with Chandler, and I think he gets it done via TKO. I think it's from maybe getting Oliveira up against the fence on the ground and some ground and pound, and they eventually stop it. But, man, so I'll have to come up with a funny caption because we've got all kinds of different picks on this one.
Hey, I like it.
It'll make it interesting. What's that? That's right. Or hell, we could split it down the middle and half be right on one.
I'm not going to pick against Oliveira right now. He's on a streak. I'm not picking against him.
I hear you.
Impressive.
Very valid points. The odds on all of these fights on the main card, all of these are about on the fence, betting odds-wise.
It's a very even card, dude. It's got a lot of fights that could go either way.
Yep, sure is. Well,
I'm excited.
Charlie T, that's that. That's our picks. I'll post them on IG as usual. This is Chrome. That's Charlie T. We're out.